Ever had students complain that your classes were boring? It could be your virtual classes, your in-person classes, but they've said, my kid's getting bored, or it's just not the same like it used to be when I first started. Well, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what you need to be doing with your team or with yourself on the mat.
Spending time like it was going backwards. Bruises covering my walls, but they fall down. Diving deeper in the books that we read blind. Breathing in and breathing out to get smarter. Not working out.
So let's go ahead and cover what is pacing and peaking. You might have heard that term before, but in case you haven't, it is a theory that you utilize in every single class. Basically what it says is that your class needs to act and operate like a roller coaster. There needs to be different points in time where there's high energy, teaching energy, and there's low energy. Okay, so at the very beginning of every class, what we do that gives us phenomenal results, whether it's a virtual class, an in-person class, it doesn't matter. You have to go ahead and start your class at a peak. It's got to start on a high note. Here's the difference. People come into the class, you go, okay guys, good to see everybody. All right, so let's get started. Let's do this, let's do that. Your energy is so low that people that have already had low energy are going to continue bringing that into your class. Have you ever noticed that one student that tends to drag all the energy out of the class? Well, you're helping to fuel that fire. So instead, you want to set your own pace. And by starting at a high peak, what it allows you to do is start at very high energy, good tone, good charisma, get everybody pumping, get the blood moving throughout the body, and then calm down off that cliff into a teaching mode. By doing this repetitively all throughout the class, you're going to do what's called pacing. And when you pace a class, it's very much like the difference between an amateur videographer or director and the most epic ones that are in Hollywood, right? They know exactly the right moment to leave you on edge and then pull you back from the brink as you're going to be really upset at them for, that character dying or that part of the movie plot unraveling. They know how to pace you, and the best instructors know how to pace their students too. So let's talk about a little bit more about the dangers of staying too high energy or too low energy and how to find that happy medium. Okay, so if you have too much high energy, and we see this a lot with junior instructors, they're just coming on board, they're super excited, and they'll be up here the whole entire time. Guys, we're gonna crush this, let's do 1,000 push-ups. You know, the kind. And so what ends up happening is they burn out or they burn the students out. Maybe they like to spar all the time. Maybe they love drilling that form all the time. Maybe they love rolling all the time. Maybe they love bag work all the time. That's all they do, which if that's all they're doing, that means you don't have class plans, and you should see one of my other videos on how to develop rotating curriculum and class plans, but that's a different story. What I'm trying to tell you is that you have to make sure you have a healthy mix of highs and lows in your class. Because if you don't, you're gonna burn out either your instructor or your students. Okay, so last thing here. What happens when you have an instructor that has super low energy? Maybe they're just not a high energy output person. Maybe their personality is super low. It's not so much about your tonality and your voice. Like I can really push my students, and I don't necessarily need to be going, okay guys, now we're gonna do, like I can really push my students with my voice, and I can push my students with the drill. You can use props in your class to push your students as well. So we have a timer back there. So you can simply have a drill where, okay guys, this is it. It's your job to race the clock. I need to see 110%. Is everybody ready? Yes, ma'am. I'm setting a high peak for my class, which is really just gonna enable them to push themselves during class. And here's the really unique thing. When you start mastering this whole pacing and peaking thing, what ends up happening is that your students are enjoying classes more, your instructors are motivated, overall the experience of the class is good, and it's something that you can predict every single time. Now if you get really coordinated, like what I do with my school, there's already a class curriculum that builds in pacing and peaking. That way my master instructor can go through, look through all the other instructors on the mat. If they're not hitting that peak when they're supposed to, it's real easy to spot. It's no different than having students lined up and they're all supposed to be throwing a cross, but you got this person on the end who's throwing a kick. Like, it's very easy to spot. And so that's a way that you can scale. And that's how you can go from, pulling in 10K a month to pulling in 100K a month. That difference is all in the recipe and all in following a system. Hey, if you found this video helpful, make sure you continue to like, comment, and share. Again, my name is Jennifer Waters. If you want to find more about how to grow your school with a hybrid martial arts coaching method, go to learnwithjennifer.com. Gonna have a video there and you can get connected. There's also a free group that you can join, the Martial Arts Business Growth Network. Just check it out in the description and we'll go ahead and get you in that group so you can get more content like this and more helpful tips to help you grow your martial arts school.